My name is John Harris, and my website is smallballsuccess.com, where we post videos and publish books and try to advise young hitters on how to play the dead ball way using techniques from over 100 years ago, which involved hitting low line drives, putting the ball in play, getting on base, as opposed to trying to drive homers over the fence like big guys. This is a book that I wrote about almost 2 years ago now, Landing Safeties, and I wanted to bring out another edition of it because I found quite a few new ideas that really would upgrade the book. So by the way, if you see that one on the internet, please don't buy it. Buy one that's coming out shortly that will say second edition very visibly on the cover. One of the things I wanted to do for this book was include a new chapter where we have two angles of three different kinds of swing. And the first kind of swing is more or less contemporary. It's a swing where I'm indoors here, so I'm going to use my little Rocky Calavito bat. I have no idea how much this is worth now, but I'll bet it would surprise us. But the swing now, you have the elbow up like this. You lift the knee and get the foot down early, and then you really launch down on the ball and you release the top hand early and have the high finish. So I do that one. That's going to be the first one that you see in these two demonstrations. The second one is the kind of swing that I grew up with. It's a mid-20th century swing that was advocated by Ted Williams and used by a lot of guys, Mickey Mantle, Duke Snider, Willie McCovey, Musial to a great extent. You hold the bat, really kind of tuck it into the rear armpit, and you roll it in a little, and then immediately, I call it lean back and hack sometimes. You immediately drop the barrel down and get it as low as it's going to get by staying back on your back leg, and then it enters into this long uppercut, and the hands wrap around the forward shoulder when you're through. And of course, the third swing is the one that we advocate, the century-old swing where you actually swing off your front foot. You get onto your front foot by not taking your hands back. You never get them farther back or higher than the rear shoulder. You lift up your front foot very stiffly. You fall on your front foot and you come right after that foot with your hands. You kind of slice down into the ball, except it's not severely down because your weight transfer really levels out the swing. And in the second angle, the lateral angle, you'll really notice how level the bat is. All three of the bats that I use have a white sock that's been duct taped to their barrel head, so you can really track the barrel pretty well. But I probably should have used, I thought later, why didn't you use the same length of bat? But in a way you really can. I don't want to be doing this with a 35-inch bat. I've already kind of wrenched my back out in doing this video. I'm going to use a 33-inch Tony Gwynn bat for that, and then the second sequence is my trusty Fred Lynn bat, which is 34 inches. That's the one where you use you'll see the Ted Williams stroke, and then the final one will be my Robin Ventura bat, which of course Robin played pretty recently, but that's a 35-inch bat that is actually tapered a lot like, say, Ty Cobb's bat or an old school bat. So I wanted to use bats that were appropriate for each swing. Now, let me just tee this up for the first video, which is really kind of hard to, I wish that it had turned out clearer, that it was easier to see the significant differences. And since I'm plucking out still shots for my book from these sequences, it's going to look a lot better in the book. It's easy to look at isolated panels and explain them, but when you see it all happening, you kind of have to know what you're looking for. And I think what you need to look for here, both the swing, the contemporary swing with the Gwynn bat, and the mid-20th century swing with Fred Lynn's bat, the Ted Williams swing, those seen from the top, they're not, of course, completely circular like that, but you're tracking this sock here, and there's a big dip in the contemporary swing because you have that elbow cocked and then you're coming down and then you're finishing high, but it does look a lot like a circle. And the Williams swing is a little more flattened, but still, because you're keeping the weight back, you'll notice that this swing doesn't cover the outside corner and the forward part of the plate as well as the final swing. Neither one of these swings actually does a very good job of covering the part of the plate that's outside and even a little bit in front. Not nearly as good a job as the old school deadball swing. And that's really the one thing that I think you can watch this series of moving sequences and notice. Look for the white sock, and in the third one especially, see how much more of that area it's sweeping out. And it's going in there very level. You can't tell it from the overhead view, but it's not, you'll see it better in the second view. It's not dipping down. It's cutting right in. And the length of the bat is sort of a giveaway. It's the same length pretty much right off the shoulder all the way through. That means it's traveling a very level, straight path into the ball. And, you know, you'll be able to tell that. Sorry, Rocky. You'll be able to tell that much better if you know what you're looking at. So let's try to get that one out of the way, and then I'm going to transition immediately into the second angle, which is a lateral shot. That'll be more revealing. Fred Lynn. Back up a little more. The deadball swing. It's hard to go to that from the others. Take a couple more of those. Actually, I'll do a couple of my patented Tris speakers. That wasn't the best video I ever made, certainly not the most exciting, but it would be the longest if I didn't break it off right here. So please look for the second part of comparative barrel paths from two different angles. You're going to see the second angle, which is a lateral one, where you look in from the side. It's going to be much more revealing if you look for part two on YouTube. Just let me say quickly as I wrap this one up, I know that it doesn't seem necessarily like much of an advantage to be sweeping out that outside quadrant and the part that's toward third base from the left side, and even off the, into fair territory. There's a big swathe there that the dead ball swing was clearly able to reach that the other two swings were not. Those were, a lot of that was not even in the strike zone. So you may be wondering, well, what's the advantage of that? Two things there. First of all, I was set up closer to the plate with a dead ball swing than I would have been if I didn't have the camera down over me and I was trying to scrunch everything into that frame. So with the dead ball swing, we want to really stand as far back from the plate, especially when I'm doing the shuffle step, as I can possibly get. I'm going to move in toward the plate and shoot the ball in the other direction. And that's the main thing. That's the second point. I'm interested in that outside corner because, again, especially with the shuffle step, but however you do the forward weight shift, you're always going to have the body leading and the hands following. You're going to stay inside the ball very well. You're going to be able to draw that barrel through the zone, even to the outside corner, even out in front of the plate. Practically everything the pitcher throws you, you're going to be able to shoot the other way or up the middle. That's why it's an advantage to be able to reach that zone, which you just can't reach effectively from the other two approaches that I showed you. And that's what we want to do with smallballsuccess.com. We want hitters to hit more like dead ball hitters. We want them to use the big part of the field instead of trying to pull the ball for the fence. It's actually very hard to pull a ball effectively. It's so easy to get those doubles into the gap comparatively. And pitchers love to work hitters on the outside corner anyway. When they see you standing way off the plate, they're going to think you can't reach that. Well, you can reach it easily, and the barrel is as soon as it comes off the shoulder, it's in that plane, that straight, slightly downward plane, so that if it strikes the ball, even on the inside corner, as you're moving into the plate, you can kind of nudge it over the infielder's gloves. But certainly, as you get your arms extended, you can still, because you're leading the barrel, you can get that ball. It might be a change of pace or a breaking pitch or something that fools you, but you can still get it into the power alleys and get good wood on it and get those extra bases. Hey, it's a lot easier and a lot more productive to hit doubles all the time than it is trying to jack one out.